What is a secret that you don't mind telling to 29 million anonymous people, but not to people you know? I have written a book, and I sent query letters and sample chapters to over 100 literary agents in 2019. But none of them were interested. To my friends and family, I'm staying optimistic and talking about sending it out to 100 more. But in reality, I'm completely discouraged, and even thought I do have a list of agents I haven't tried yet. I can't bring myself to try anymore. I mean, 100 freaking agents? Ugh. That's my secret. I want to give up. I can't drag myself into the line of fire anymore. I lie to a point that I create memories to the point where it gets hard to know if they were false or not. How do you manage to do that? I feel like if I lied pretty much about anything, people will recognize and call me out for it. Does it not drive you crazy sometimes? Genuinely curious. Sometimes I can call myself out on my own lies and I can remember it. Other times I have my siblings or parents call me out because of it never happening. No one else besides them knows that I'm lying, and I usually tell people that I'm a chronic liar. The worst part is when people bring it up and I remember it as a memory, only to argue with a person who knows it is a lie. By the end of high school, everyone liked me. At work everyone likes me. How do I do it? I'm terrified of what people think of me, so I put on a smile and don't say anything bad. Which is also why I haven't cried in over 10 years. I have never gotten into a fight or gotten drunk because I'm afraid I will lose control and severely injure someone. I never get angry for the same reason, that I don't want to be judged. I don't form close relationships easily because I'm afraid of what will happen if they fall apart. Finally, there's a good chance I will never get married and have kids because of what me and my siblings went through when my parents separated. I'm similar. Very scared of being judged, but you wouldn't think so meeting me. I tend to mirror people that I interact with. Makes me sometimes feel like I'm hollow. I think that most people that get to know me and really like me must be mistaken somehow because they cannot possibly really know me. I'm just too good at being what they like. Wow. Least I know I'm not alone in this. THX for sharing. Sometimes I seriously contemplate just leaving. I would never do it. I have a wonderful family, a beautiful home. I'm spoiled beyond belief by my husband, but sometimes I feel like I'm choking on my life. I shouldn't complain. Really, I do love my wife. She is gorgeous, fit, strong work ethic. I have 2 teenage kids who outside of the normal teenage rebellion are good kids. Live in a good neighborhood. Still feels like I'm putting on a mask every day, and not the kind I'm supposed to. Badman. Even though I go to therapy and I say I'm doing fine, I'm really struggling more. As a clinical psychologist, I can tell you that feeling you are struggling more can be related to actually addressing your issues. This happens a lot. It's not easy to face your shadows, and when you do, it can feel quite overwhelming. IDK if you already do. But don't keep the I'm doing fine mask with your therapist. And if you feel like you need to, or don't feel the freedom to open completely, maybe you should try another therapist/method. I wish you the very best. Once I get a stable job and move out, I plan on cutting my family off, since they're just too toxic. I also plan on getting a protection order against my brother. Wholeheartedly endorse this. I watched my wife spend so much mental energy dealing with her toxic mother. I admired her strength, but know she could have been so much happier without her mother in her life. Her mother died slowly when my wife was 43. I could see she was getting stronger. She got a story published. Then she died suddenly. You are not guaranteed tomorrow. Don't waste today on toxic people. I'm a massive ducking weeble mayo. Same here. Let's weeb together. Take my energy. If it is cancer, I don't want to go through treatments. I once had a very minor car accident. It wasn't even an accident. I just hit someone's external rear view mirror with mine, and I was coerced into giving up the cash then and there, rather than go through the proper procedures of alarming the insurance policy and all that stuff. I will never know if I gave up more than due. Apparently the dude had the father working in mechanics and called him to ask for the price of the rearview mirror, or I was half scammed. Half because it was my fault after all, and I simply decided it was a bad dream and that it never, ever happened. Not the worst thing to have happen. How much did you part with? If you don't mind my asking, around 600 euros, if I remember correctly. I may give up one of my nationalities/citizenships because I do not want to be linked to that place at all. I'm broken from my mom's abuse of me. People who know me in real life say I'm the nicest person they've ever met. I fall over backwards to be nice to everyone, but I really don't like most people I meet. I think a lot of people are assholes or idiots. Nothing to do with abuse from my parents or anything, but that's ironic. People are always telling me I'm super nice, but I feel like a bad person. Because in my head my inner voice is like, what a stupid horrible shitty bitch at every random person I see. I like to think that being good is a choice I make. The reason why I'm not going to enter to a very stressful career, I'm taking a better care of myself and trying to get a job, it's because I wanna donate my sister a kidney and get money for her meds. But she would hate if I did that, and that's why she can't know that I'm suicidal. Me too. I survived shit in Afghanistan that will never be unpainted from the walls of my mind. I don't know why I am, but I am. And every day I beat that asshole in my mind is another victory. I'm sorry about that. TBH, people are suffering from PTSD, depression and anxiety, and it isn't even something that's worth to be traumatized cause it was something I find petty, but I was, and at days I wake up with panic attacks. I was in meds for a while, but due to the pandemic, I had to go home far from my current doctor and hospital. Meds here are very expensive, and I can't get a prescription because it was a government hospital and lower cost, but now I can't afford it in my current home, and I'm left with no meds for months. I hope I can beat it same as you. I have an eating disorder. I've never been diagnosed, but I've been struggling for 25 years. I was doing okay for the past 2-ish, but COVID caused me to snap, and now I went back to not eating and excessive exercise. I've lost more weight in the last 4 weeks than I gained in the last 2 years. I finally told my husband about it on Monday, but no one else. Family/friends/cowhawkers, no. The 2 years I spent as a semi-professional BDSM dom, I plan to keep this from my family and take this to my grave. I'm pretty sure I'm bisexual, even though I never had a sexual experience with another man. I'm bisexual. This probably won't be that surprising to the people reading this, but it would be to my family. I'm scared to tell them, as most PPL are. I think they'll support me because my aunt is a lesbian. I know I basically have nothing to worry about, but I'm still scared to come out. A couple years ago, I used to be the most optimistic person you would ever meet. Now I'm a nihilist that believes humanity was a mistake. On which premise is humanity a mistake? I have a huge crush on my homies GF. I would never act on it though. I have a GF I'm faithful to and am a good friend who would never betray the bro code. I watch porn on a daily basis. Don't we all? That I sometimes masturbate to people on Instagram. HMN. Do I know you? I sincerely hope not. I think I have a daughter. I had an affair with a married colleague. We fancied each other from the off, but never acted on it until she was trying for a second baby. They had trouble conceiving the first time, and this time seemed to be even more difficult. During a staff event, we got to talking, and I think she thought it might be worth a try. She suggested we have sex without contraceptive, and if she fell pregnant, so be it. We made a date and booked a place. I won't lie, it was great sex. It's not certain that it's my child, but the dates match up to about that night, so it's highly possible. I went on a trip to a large city and got swindled once, but I tell everyone I know I got robbed at gunpoint. It happened to me too. I don't usually do drugs, but I went on a week-long coke and mad binge in an unfamiliar city. More fool me. My dad was cheating on my mom when he had my little sister, and the lady he cheated on my mom with at the time wanted to have a serious relationship, so she threatened to go to the cops and make up lies so my dad would have to go back to jail. Since he didn't want to be with her, don't know a lot of details, but he still don't know that I know about that to this day. My parents aren't together no more, and my sister lives somewhere else, but still, I'm curious. How did you find this out? I've had a crush on someone for 4 years and only my best friend knows about it. I'm gonna be a junior in high school. As a 30-year-old male looking back to your age, ask her out. It may be terrifying, but better to know and have closure than to look back and wonder. You never know. She could say yes, and you have lots to gain. If she says no, that does not mean there is anything wrong with you or you are inferior. There could be many reasons for a no. She is not interested in dating anyone. You are not her type. She has a crush she is also dreaming about. Don't get offended or angry. Simply say alright, no problem. Can't blame a guy for trying. Hope you have a great day. Think about it. If you had a girl approach you that you were not interested in and she asked you out, you would decline. You may be flattered and take it as compliment, but I doubt you would want them to feel bad about themselves for asking. The problem is if the person declining is mean about it, in which case they are a bad person and you dodged a bullet. COCKANDBALLTORTURE. A little chastity into the mix. Lol. I've contemplated suicide. On a survey for doctor's exam that asked if I've had any when I was with my family, I wrote that I don't have any suicidal thought. It seems easy to commit suicide though. Struggles are just a part of life. You just gotta get through them. Hey, I'm going through something similar. If you want to PM me, I can listen. I ended up talking to my family about it, about suicide ideation. They thought something along those lines anyway by my change in behavior. I love ripping hair from certain areas out, most frequently my jaw. It's obviously not good for me, but it feels very satisfying. Do you have trichotillomania? My boss has it, and I've begged her to seek treatment for it cause the sound of her snapping hair makes me feel sick. They do CBT, and I think even meds for it. If you want to stop/improve it, I'd speak to your doctor. That might be it. But unlike Google said, I don't find relief in it, rather pleasure. I was supposed to get treatment, but it was impossible to get a doctor due to COVID. I struggle with depression and it sucks. Sometimes I struggle to get out of bed. Other days I struggle to get dressed. When you see me in public, which is rarer and rarer these days, you don't see the real me. You see a fake persona. I might have gotten my master's degree in a field that will get me nowhere in life. Potentially wasted a good portion of money going to college. What did you study? I wish my sister had been unsuccessful at breaking into where I was laying hours away from death. Every single day the only thing I can remember with certainty, have amnesia from the brain damage, is that I was ready to die and was only upset that it was a shit way to go. I hadn't said my goodbyes, etc. It wasn't even suicide. I was just sick. It would have been fine. That I failed miserably. I tried really hard and for a long time to learn a second language. It was always a dream of mine to be fluent in multiple languages. As an adult, nothing seems to stick. I tried it all. Apps, courses, consuming media like news or YouTube shows, etc. I never had an opportunity to learn a second language growing up. Now it feels hopeless. My family's history before the last 3 generations is linked with witchcraft, and they still practice it to this day, and in my grandparents' place of origin our family name is prominent. I'm extremely vain. I want the car, the mansion, the clothes, the extremely attractive partner. I act like I won't need all that, but it's all I want. Funny thing is, I know I'm talented and probably could get those things given my education level, but I'm afraid of being successful. To all the gay/bi/bicurious people in here, 1. Come out when you're ready and when you want to and feel safe. Don't feel pressured. It's your life. 2. Know there is nothing wrong with you. genetics or whatever are a little different for you. Live your best life. Don't hurt anyone else and be happy. I almost summoned an imp with my period and rock. I will not be going into details. Oh whoa wait, how did you almost summon an imp? How is it almost? I'm planning of leaving my cheating boyfriend anyway in a few months despite formally agreeing of working things out. In the meantime I enjoy the gifts and presents and grocery paid by him, given that being good as a newborn lamb didn't guarantee me a respectful relationship. Let's try being a bitch. Just leave. If you pull that stunt on him, he will feel justified in his actions. That I really want to try weed, but it's illegal. And if my mum and her boyfriend knew this, they'd kill me. Word of advice: if you do, don't hold it in for more than 3 seconds. After that point it's almost all been absorbed. People will swear it gets them higher, but it's really just the lack of oxygen getting to your brain. Plus hold it in too long, and it will hurt like a bitch. I would totally bang Iggy Azalea. I'm a pervert. I post in a support subreddit quite often and talk about my experience being raised by an abusive father. I'd never tell any of my friends about it. My newborn baby peed on my husband, his dad's, pillow. I just turned it over and went about my day. I'm a mega simp. I'm a girl. Can you PayPal me $500? Yee, me too. Almost anything. Is this a part of being an introvert? People close to me won't know my interests, my hobbies, my passion, my thought process, dumb math dreams, the fact that I wrote fanfiction and still would if I could make some time for myself. They know versions of me. How do y'all even open up, lol? Gay stuff. I really have no reason not to come out, but something still terrifies me about it. You have no reason to. I've just said it to someone else in here. Really don't stress about coming out. Everyone gets so effing judgmental about it, but it's your story, your life. If you don't want to, or don't feel ready, you don't need to, and no one should ask that of you. It's your life. Come out when, and if you're ready. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.